I try to justify myself to stand before you from as a part of the Pharmaceutical Export Promotion Council of India. I'm as a Director General under the aegis of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. And of course, today, as we all know, that the conference is basically on the pillars of protection, forging, and safer future for pharma and chemical manufacturing. When the word pharma comes and all, of course, it's an inseparable thing with the chemistry and chemical things and all. In fact, we got called out of the Chemexcel, in fact, which was started 20 years, 2 decades ago, got as a pharmaceutical export and has its headquarters in Hyderabad and having our offices in Mumbai and Delhi. Of course, today as we stand, our exports are about 30 billions plus. And we, as rightly mentioned, Chakravarti Garu, we are known as the pharmacy of the world and all. And so in that sense, I think probably we cannot afford to somewhere be also complacent in some of those aspects, which today I think probably will be dealt by many of our industry friends here, and who are I think we are very safely sitting here, probably because I think we are having that kind of a confidence in their own team working there in the factories, and the kind of technologies in place for the pharmaceutical industry. What we have, I think we have come a long way in these 6 decades. When we have, where we have started with saying something, I think export of 10 billions, even not even a 10 millions kind of a thing. And now we are almost like a 30 billion kind of industry, and looking forward for by 2030, almost like a sort of a 65 to 70 billions, and of course an industry of 130 billion, and by 2047, which is again a very ambitious target of 450 billions and 450 billions kind of a thing. But why I'm trying to tell all these things is that I think this is one of the thrust areas for the government of India in terms of its, in terms of the sector, in terms of the employment it generates, and in terms of its contribution to the Indian GDP. And that way, I think probably this is one of those important sector which we are looking forward. And what better than a place like Hyderabad when we are dealing with this one? I think we all know that. I think it is in fact is a distinct honor for me to be here today for this Confederation of Indian Industries, which has chosen this topic, the pillars of protection. And the conference, especially as we gather, I said that in Hyderabad, a true hub of India's pharmaceutical prowess. And we all know that Hyderabad is otherwise, and in this part of this globe, is known for its IT, BT, and of course PT. So in fact, the IT is also there in hand in hand, and hand in hand it goes with the biotechnology and as well as the pharmaceutical technology. On behalf of Pharmaceutical, I extend my sincere gratitude for this invitation to address such a distinguished audience. I think they are very technocrats over here. And the theme, which we all know, that the forging a safer future for pharma and chemical manufacturing, resonates very deeply with the Pharmaceutical's mission. Our industry, the pharmaceutical industry, is very unique, and we are in the business of saving lives. We all know that improving health and alleviating suffering. But with this profound responsibility comes an equally profound obligation to ensure that our operations, the very process by which we create these life-saving medicines, are conducted with the highest standards of safety and environmental stewardship. I think my friend Vinod has brought some of our memories, which are in the 80s and all, with the tragedy of Bhopal, and of course that methyl isocyanate, and of course the latest by our Rajgopalji, which has mentioned with the LG polymers in Vizag and all, the styrene and all. These are those gases which really, we all know that somehow it will really very, very fatal in that sense. Of course, some of those leaks which we all know that in the chemical, in our own pharmaceutical industries, in the labs also, I think when we deal with the nitrogen, I think the nitrogen purging which we do in the injectable preparations and all, if there is a leak and all, and if there is no chance of moving around and there is no chance of escaping, I think it proves a very safety hazard for our own people who are working there. I think this has happened in one of our industries over here. I don't want to bring it to a specific topic on that, but I think these are some of those very pertinent points which we are trying to put it in our mind. I think in my own career of 3 decades in the drug industry, drug administration and all, we have come across some of those issues. Of course, many of those things Rajgopalji has already mentioned, that with respect to the safety as with respect to the boilers and all, and with respect to the static electricity and all. We have seen in because my last posting was in Vizag, and I know that some of those with the static electricity, how it really causes havoc when you just transferring a material from the one to the other, and if you, though in spite of a lot of training by the industry and all, but at the nick of the moment, if you just can't stick to those SOP, I think probably you will be losing the life. And I think somewhere, I think probably the technology should be in a position to predict some of those things and all. It should prevent that kind of a thing, preempt those things and all. I think probably in these today's sessions and all, I think probably a lot of churning will go into that one, and what are those technologies are in place where we could able to predict those things and can save one of those important lives and all. And I have seen one of those industry where I think everything has gone well and everything was over and everything, and this particular what you call the boiler or whatever it may be, it was in a horizontal one, not a boiler, it of course sort of this one, and it was in a horizontal one, and only thing, the scaling which is there inside and all, it has to be scrapped. And the person has entered into it and tried to scale it up, and suddenly it's a huge as a what you call pads and all, they have just fallen on that person, and he was just got into that. It is a very heated one and all, and could not, I mean, these are all some of those expected things, and for that I think probably you should not venture with a human one. There should be some other technology where you can able to do that and all thing. And so is with the other things and all we have seen, and I think Rajgopalji has already mentioned some of the recent incidents in Hyderabad itself. I think because of one electrical somewhere shortage and all, the entire industry must have got gutted and all. And of course now there are lot of safety measures which are come. The spark which generates, I think there is a system where the oxygen can be completely eliminated from that place, and it can be sucked out of that, and suddenly it will get dosed off. So these are some of the systems which are there already in place, I think, where you need not use the sprinklers kind of things and all. I think so on and so forth, you keep going and working on those aspects. I think definitely it will help us understand what is going on and all, because the safety, whether it is because of a machine or because of a man, anything which will really create all those nonsense and all. So I think the topic which I has chosen today for this one, and as we all know that the global landscape of pharmaceutical manufacturing is evolving very rapidly, and we are witnessing increasing scrutiny from international regulatory bodies. And I think, as I said, that I just landed yesterday from US from by international conference and all. ఏదో అంటారు చూసారా, చల్లున్న చలిజ్వరం వచ్చినా కానీ చక్రవర్తి గారు పిలిస్తే పరిగెత్తు రావాలి. ఇదొక ప్రాబ్లం మాకు, ఏం చేయాలి ఇక్కడ, అదొకటి అనమాట. సో ఐ థింక్ I'm still sleepy, but somehow I could able to manage. And of course, as I said, that the international regulatory bodies have a greater consumer awareness. Of course, this is one of the aspect I think they are demanding in that way. And ethical manufacturing, the growing emphasis, ethical manufacturing, what I said, I think Rajgopal has very rightly mentioned, even if there is a child labor in your industry, I think some of your these things, what you call the orders can go. And growing emphasis on sustainability. These are very important things and all. I think the ESG norms which are coming and all. In this context, EHC and operational safety are no longer just your tick box, check box and all. They are fundamental pillars of competitiveness, reputation, and ultimately the long-term viability of our industry. And of course, the kind of trust we have already built over the years in the global scenario, in the global arena for our pharma industry, I think probably we have to still keep the flag going high on that way. So Pharmexcel, as apex body for the promotion of Indian pharmaceutical exports, recognizes that our global standing is intrinsically linked to our commitment to safety. I think this is where we can establish and say to the world that we just not care about our molecules, we not only engineer those molecules and also the safety aspect of it. And when we export pharmaceuticals, we are not just exporting medicines, we are exporting the trust, the quality, and the commitment to responsible manufacturing. A robust EHS framework at home translates directly into enhanced market access and a stronger brand India in the global pharmaceutical arena. Some of things which I could quickly give it in another couple of minutes, sir, before
No, sir, we can interact later.
Yeah, that's right. I think that in that sense, I think I will wrap it up, because I know there are many things which to be, and very quickly, these are some of those integrated approaches are there, regulatory compliance, embracing technology, which I quickly try to give it. And of course, cultivating a very strong safety culture, which has already emphasized, and supply chain safety and collaborations. Of course, the sustainability of green manufacturing. That I think this is one of those topics which is coming in a big way. The green chemistry and all. So, in this conference, which is timely and critical initiative by the CIA, I really congratulate the management and the director from Mixel. I assure you that our continued commitment and supporting to the Indian pharmaceutical in adapting and exceeding global EHC standards. So by working together, by sharing knowledge and best practices, and by prioritizing safety in every aspect of our operations, we can indeed
Thank
forge
you,
a
thank you,
safer
thank you,
and
Dr.
sustainable.
Rajibhanu Garu.
Thank you
And
so much
I'm
for
sure
giving me the
actually
opportunity.
my sincere